So the idea that companies can monopolize natural resources has been around, for 250 years. But there's no example of this actually happening. And natural resources have geographically dispersed. There's a lot of competition in this, and there's actually no example of anywhere approaching this. Now, the closest we've come to so-called private enterprise monopolizing anything was Rockefeller, and I think it was the 1870s, where he had over 90% of all the oil refining capacity in the U.S. It wasn't actually the oil drilling, it was the refining capacity. So what? So what happened? Prices went down every year, quality went up every year. Why? Because Rockefeller knew that there was always competition. That if prices went up and quality went down, competition would arise. And the same is true of natural resources. There's no natural resource that you can't substitute something else for it. And as a consequence, if somebody takes over a significant percentage of all the particular natural resource in a particular geographic area, and they raise prices and they treat their customers really badly, then customers will find something else to use. So today, if somebody kind of monopolizes, like OPEC, let's say, all the oil, and truly oil prices went up and quality went down, well, natural gas right now is really cheap. I mean, we could theoretically transition our economy to be mostly natural gas, even drive our cars on natural gas if oil prices rose to a level where that was economic. There are substitutes, coal for electricity. There are substitutes for almost every natural resources if the so-called monopolists misbehave. But the fact is that the person who's got control over the natural resources wants to sell them, and he wants to sell them in vast quantity. And he has no interest in being boycotted. He has no interest in people shifting to another source. He also has interest in people discovering more uses for the natural resource, which means lower and lower prices, because as prices go down, people use the natural resources in more and more ways. So I don't care if they so-called monopolize this. It doesn't matter. We're not economic utilitarians. We're property rights advocates. That is, my standard is not what is optimized on the chalkboard of a classroom economics class. My standard is, am I protecting people's rights? And I don't see a situation under freedom where we respect property rights, where the courts respect property rights, where the rights of some people are violated because we're protecting some people's rights of property. Rights do not clash. Rights do not conflict. We are all better off in a society that protects property rights and allows the market to work freely.